Hey, it's morning time. So, this is Aardvark, my porch cat. And he can have his soft food. Pick up this old dish. And then, so obviously he has dry food, all the wet food. He eats twice a day, definitely, with the wet food, and keep his dish with dry food. And his water. And his super cozy bed. And that's all he needs is just a couple times a day to check on him. Gracie's up in the front back porch this morning. Okay, up to the barn. Okay, so morning. Same idea as yesterday. We're going to start with the grain. And since we have our cubes from soaking from last night, we're going to go ahead and add the grain bag. So, morning grain bag over here. And that was only Pete, right? So only Pete's grain gets soaked. Empty bag is up here. I've been up for 5 minutes, so bear with me. We're going to mix all this up, and then it's morning, so I've been doing supplements in the morning. So let's go ahead and add a strip of his supplements for Pete. And they do have his name on them somewhere. There it is, yeah. Okay, hang on. And I take the plastic part and I recycle it over here in the bag that says recycle. And then the garbage gets the top of it. You just put the whole strip in there. It's going to look great. And so mix that up. It's going to be like porridge. Okay, we're all done. So that can sit for a few minutes. Let's grab Nelson's Nelson's grain bag. So Pete's grain is morning and evening. They're the same measurement and the same grain, but he just gets it split up. Nelson has a much smaller amount, so I didn't put AM and PM on his. He just, it's like a handful, so it's not a big deal. I don't know, for space too. Okay, so Nelson's going to be just kind of sitting here. Oh, wait, nope. I have been awake for 5 minutes. Nelson also gets a supplement in his morning grain, and we're going to add that into his bag. Oh, I just missed that whole thing. Okay, so anyhow, I just added a little bit of sugar, or a little bit of the scoop of medicine, just like a quarter of a scoop. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of sugar to his grain as well, to hopefully that'll help. Okay, so then we've added just a little bit of sugar in there, and we're gonna shake it all together. I'll put you down for a second. All right, it's all shook up together. We're going to put that over here. Now we need to do Pete's medicine. So we're going to get a carrot. And I would take like half a carrot. You can split it between the boys if you want to. So I sliced up some of the carrot with this handy knife. And the bigger chunks we'll just throw in Pete's bucket. And then you take one chunk and you kind of just take the point of your knife and kind of make a spot, but I need 2 hands, so hang on. Obviously don't cut yourself doing it. But see, I've kind of gored, let's see if I can focus that. There you go. Kind of gored a little bit of a spot in just a bigger section. So he gets, Nelson's ready for breakfast. He gets 1 pill once a day. And let's see if I can do this one-handed. Just kind of jam that in the slot we just made. Boom. Put it in with the other carrots. Done. Okay, from here, we've got Nelson's medicine and grain done. And we have Pete's grain and medicine in there. So let's go get the hay. And we'll come back. we'll bring that with us. Oh, yeah. I just thought of one thing. So I'm gonna put this to the side, and we're gonna grab the treats for their treat balls. It's been raining; they haven't had them in a while, but it'll be good, good weather. So they can each have a handful of these, and try and give Pete the big ones and Nelson the small ones, because you know, size. Okay, so for hay, we went over this last night, but I don't know if you're gonna watch this in the morning. So, I have the hay separated out. This is alfalfa on the right, and then over here on the left is teff. Alfalfa goes to Pete, thoroughbred. Teff is kind of a special hay just for Nelson, the donkey. Although Nelson can have a handful of the alfalfa. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I am switching over from the last bale of the old alfalfa for Pete into this new alfalfa, and I've got like 20 bales of it, so obviously. I got you a couple notes, just that it's alfalfa, kind of a 1 flake of old until it's gone, and then 1 flake of the new. And then once the old alfalfa is about gone, then you will be just doing probably 1.5 to 2 flakes of the new, depending on how big the flakes are. I've only broken off like 2 flakes so far, so I don't really know how it's going to break out. But he can have 2 flakes or 1.5. And I've got a note there. Nelson can have a handful every day, twice a day, a big handful of the alfalfa. Nelson's hay, teff, is the open bales back here. It can be really hard to break the flakes apart because it doesn't want to flake off like alfalfa. So Nelson only needs 1/3 to 1/2 of a flake every day, or well, every feeding, so twice a day. But it's kind of hard to break it off. So if you get a big handful, so be it. It's fine. He'll probably waste some of it, but that's okay. And then Nelson also has just a little, like 1 flake left of this old hay. So I'm kind of doing a big handful of the old flake and a big handful of the new flake. So I'll show you in a sec. Okay, so we'll do Pete first. So just kind of breaking off a nice big chunk here. It breaks off really easy for this stuff. I'm going to put it in our hay cart. This is like the cart that doesn't have anything on it. The other cart I have has the word poop on it because it's poop only. Okay, so this is the new alfalfa. I'm trying to get a handle on how big this flake is. So, like, this flake is really thick, so he can probably handle 1 whole big flake like this. I'm going to break it apart for a minute. Okay, so this is kind of how it broke apart. This is like a much thinner flake. So probably a little bit more than he needed to eat, but I'd rather him be happy and fat than skinny. And you don't have to be super anal, I'm saying. That's my morning word. Okay, so now I've got this like kind of messy pile here where I broke the flake apart. And for Nelson, I'm going to start with his teff because it'll separate out from the alfalfa, so I don't know, what did I put in the cart for Nelson and what did I put in the cart for Pete. And I'll show you how. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so I just put in a big armful of teff, and it looks really fluffy because it's just fluffy hay, but it's really not. I mean, it's like probably 1/3 of a flake. So it kind of goes. I'm not saying you have to weigh it. I'm saying you have to kind of just arm it. Like, yeah, grab an armful. So you'll have, it looks like it's going to be these beautiful big flakes. And that's the problem. They're really big, fluffy flakes. If you want to just grab another handful if you wanted to add more. Okay. And then for his alfalfa, so we're going to grab just a handful of his old stuff. Okay, it doesn't have to be a whole big thing. It just has to be a handful. And throw that on top. And then we're going to have a handful of the new. And this can be just a nice big handful. Okay. I'm going to put that on top. So now I've got a separation in my cart of Pete's hay in the back and Nelson's hay in the front. And just to separate it a little bit more, I'm going to load up my my grain right in the middle so I know. And then we're going to put Nelson's food and our treats in there. I'm going to hide Nelson's food because Pete has been known to steal his baggie and try and swallow it. And I'm not even exaggerating. So let's keep the horse's suicide down. Okay. I might also grab my fly spray, depending on the day. But it's always nice to have in case you think, oh, it's going to be a buggy day. And go ahead and fly spray them. Pete, you can probably fly spray next to himself, right next to him, without a halter. Nelson hates fly spray, and you may need to halter him. So if you want to grab his halter, it's right here. It says, name Nelson. And then Pete's is over here. One thing, I know we're going into warm weather while I'm gone. And so if the horses are itchy or buggy, Pete's fly mask, I'm going to put it right now, is right here. Okay. He is very good for putting it on and off if you're slow. Just take your time. Probably put a halter on because he gets a little spooky when you take it off. It's like vision change, scary. One thing, Nelson, obviously these are my blanket wall in the feed room. Size appropriate, so it's not like a question on whose blanket is whose. Nelson does have 2 fly sheets. The zebra one doesn't really fit him all that well. It's not made for his body. I just got back my good fly sheet for Nelson. However, Nelson's been itching on things that are tearing it, so hopefully he doesn't do that too much. One thing about Pete, and he's wearing his fly sheet now, he can wear it 24/7 as long as every few days you want to just peek under there, make sure nothing is amiss. He does need to wear shoulder sleeves under them because he gets rubs on his shoulders because he's, thin-skinned thoroughbred. So I'll show you that while we're out there. Okay, let's go feed. Okay, so Pete meets me at the gate, and today he's being very good and giving me space. Most of the time, he will try and, yep, here he comes, getting my business. Hi, good morning. And he's really going to just frisk you. He's going to frisk the cart. Oops, I'm doing this one-handed. For carrots. See, he just wants his carrots. So you just kind of roll with it. And close the gate, can you? Okay. Sometimes he'll... Come on, here we go. He's got to eat those carrots in. Okay, and then you just walk with him. He'll walk right next to you. He may cut in front of you. But for the most part, you can yell at him if he's being naughty. But he generally is just like, okay, roll it out. All right, here we go. Okay, Nelson. Good boy. Oh, actually. Okay, Nelson. Oops, sorry, honey. Oh, it's you. Okay, so I just did Nelson's grain bag right there. Now, this looks like a lot of hay from last night, and some of it is, but he actually picked it out and rolled it around and kind of sifted through it. Do not panic. He almost, like 99% of the time, never finishes his hay. But the fact that he did try and eat most of it is good. Okay, so... He's also very suspicious on things. So I'm going to throw his morning hay on top. Then this afternoon, I'm going to scoop everything else that's left behind and that little poop in the corner, and I'll scoop it all up. Okay. So there he is. He's like, num nums. Because of course he goes for the alfalfa. Last night I went through the process of giving him his meds in his mouth through the syringe. So and I do that before I feed him so his mouth is clear. If you want to do that, I would say refer to that video. Okay. The next thing is we're going to open his gate because Robin, you're going to be going to work. So we're putting him on dry lot at night. At least like 12 hours would be great. If you want to only let him out for 8 to 10 hours, that's wonderful. He can be on dry lot for, longer than 12 hours. Anyway, but I understand. So let's open his gate. Oh, okay, that was weird. Okay, so bottom latch, if you missed last night's video, just goes right here on the support right there. I did have a different one, but he decided to rub on it and broke the wire. And then the top latch is just a simple wire. So I take both of them off. They are not hot. They're not connected to anything hot. So they're tension. So once I wrap it up, it will hold tension. Right, okay. So I just wrapped that up. So you can see that this little line holds tension. It's not anything he can get wrapped up in. This little dude here he bends, whatever, because he's got a whole bunch of weight on him. It's fine. I do have more step-in posts in the barn if anything happens. And now Nelson's got a nice wide berth and gate to go into his field all day. Okay, so treat balls are next. Okay, so obviously long ones for Pete and small ones for Nelson. Doesn't matter whose ball is whose, they can trade. So for Pete, I'm going to give him, I don't know, whatever you think. Nelson, same idea, right? You can have a little handful. Something for them to play with. Like I said, it's been probably a week of rain, so I haven't given it to them. Because look how beat up they are. They get water in them. Okay. Okay, and then, let me put this lid on. So their water should be good for several days. I know it's going to be hot. Nelson doesn't drink as much as Pete does. So you'll see this go down, but you'll probably need to clean it before it needs to be refilled. I cleaned it, yesterday. And today's Wednesday. So Pete's will probably go down, but then need to be cleaned too. Okay. Last thing out here, I'm going to check them all over for any bumps or lumps or unfortunate events. But I did want to show you how... Hi, can I show you? I'm going to show them your clothing. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is not helping. I need better. This is not... Yeah, I'm sorry. I have been awake for 10 minutes now. Okay, so Pete is wearing a shoulder sleazy, not a full neck sleazy. All I have is shoulder sleazies out. He is wearing a lovely sleazy, and that's because, like a little turtleneck. Yeah, so he doesn't get his rubs. He's very good for blanketing. I would suggest to use a halter. He doesn't know you, and he's a thoroughbred, so, but he's good. You can touch him pretty much anywhere you want. Yeah, so he does have, lots of little scars and stuff like that, but anything new, that should be addressed. Nelson is pretty good. If he's feeling ouchy at all, he'll let you know. He lays down and he's kind of pitiful. The last thing I'm going to do is we're going to spray Pete's undercarriage with some fly spray because it's going to be a little bit buggy today. Okay, back to the barn it is, and I'll show you how to set up for tonight's feed. Oh, as we're walking, I'll tell you, when you clean the fields, expect that Pete will help you, and he will grab the wheelbarrow. And it's probably best to feed him first so he's distracted. If you can clean the field every other day, it's probably the easiest workload. I do it every day, but I do not expect you to do it because, you have your own life too. So if you do it every 3 days, you'll have a pretty significant amount of poop and hay to pull out. So So yeah. And a lot of this, like, is little mud stuff, so it's not poop. Okay, so we gotta feed the cats in the barn, or the cat in the barn, and the chickens, and set up for breakfast, or for afternoon. Okay, we take our dirty bucket and we go outside. Awesome. And we're going to spray it out and fill it with water. There is an approximate water level here, and again, somewhere in there. If you go too much higher, you'll get a lot of sop. Soupy sop. It's a word. But otherwise, just in that area. Okay, coming back into the barn. Oh yeah, that was awesome. Pete peed in my aisle like a day ago. Oh, so, okay. Sorry, like that's a stain. Okay, so we've got it ready to go. We're gonna take one of these handy dandy alfalfa cube bags for Pete's alfalfa cubes, and we're going to soak it for the upcoming afternoon feeding. In my book, I write down, like, hey, I forgot to soak them. What do I do? They soak super fast in warm water. Guess what? I don't have warm water out here. But I do, actually. If you ever needed hot water, there is a faucet on the side of the house that has hot water. Or you can also plug in this handy-dandy electric kettle, since these don't take a whole lot of water. Okay, I'm going to cover this to keep bugs and rodents out. These are my notes for you. Pete's soaked alfalfa cubes. We're good to go, ready to go for the afternoon. Now, this is the eggs. Okay, Gracie, so my barn cat. We need to give her dry food and wet food. So, I have a can for both cats. I have it labeled for both cats, but we've already seen Aardvark has his set up, so if one runs out, you just come down here for the others. Okay, underneath all of these bowls, I don't know, I had a bowl overkill for you. And utensils, in case you need them. One can. And I also have these in case something happens and you can't open the thing. Alright. 1 second. And Gracie likes to eat up there lately. Cats change their minds on stuff, you know? Okay. And then we're also going to give Gracie 1 scoop of the dry food. Aardvark also has dry food that we did, so Aardvark will eat more than Gracie, like hands down. He just eats twice as much. Okay, mission accomplished. Cat is fed. Her dry food has been rolling right there, so she kind of just steps over him. That's her preference lately. She sleeps upstairs on top of the hayloft, and she can go everywhere, so don't worry if, you don't think she'll get trapped. And cat food goes in there, and then we're going to get ready for the chickens. One note on the cat food is I do wrap it up really tight, and then this has a seal around it as well, because I really hate stale cat food, like stale cereal. I don't think they like it as much either. Okay, I'm going to give you one guess where the chicken food is. One guess is all you get. All right, here we go. I'm trying not to let that hang.